So we're a little early, but let's jump into the Q&A session. Let's see how things are going. I guess the question would be, who would like to go first? Let me pull up my little file here. Option Y on Mac or Alt Y on Windows to raise your hand for questions.
Before that, I would like to put a disclaimer that I will try to give the explanation because I'm not from the actual this Vimana engineering, but definitely with Sanskrit references, I will try to give as much as I can.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I should share with the audience that really your role is trying to translate the mythology and the language, right? And put that into kind of modern context. So, you know, it's definitely like not on the science side, it's more of like bridging that cultural gap, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Let me go to Bernie first. Bernie, go for it, sir. Oops, and it looks like Bernie just disappeared. Okay, let me go to Josh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Bernie, are you there?
Yeah, just wondering if you've ever heard of Praveen Mohan's work on YouTube and
of course,
his decoding of ancient Indian artifacts and stuff.
Yes. He is like our preceptor only. He is like our guru only. I mean, I always watch his videos and learn many things from him.
Yeah, because I feel that you guys are kind of parallel in your work, that he gives a lot of backing to what you're theorizing. He's actually making discoveries of linking the ancient past technology to our understanding of today.
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, Bernie, thank you, sir. Let me see. Let me go to Josh next. Josh?
Hi. Yeah, so interestingly, I have Praveen Mohan's YouTube channel open right here, and my question is based on one of his videos. He made a chemical battery and noted that in the ancient text that he was working with, one of the chemicals was referred to as a peacock neck. And he translated it as copper sulfate, which you mentioned.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you thought the references to swans could reference a chemical or a chemical reaction.
Chemical reaction, as far as this Agastya Samhita is concerned, in that it's given. There is Agastya Samhita, it's a text in which the verses are written in Sanskrit, Samstapyam Radmaye Patram, etc., etc. So, he has given, because I have just shared one slide in which that line was there from Amar Kosha, Shikigreva. So that reference, because people may say, you know, that Shikigreva is copper sulfate, this and that, but we should find the word or the meaning in the text. So in Amar Kosha we got it, and in other Vachaspatim also it's there. So yes, the procedure is given, but proportion we need to work it on. Okay, so in Agastya Samhita it's given. I have also tried with my students. With one pot it's not possible, but if we go with the 10 pots or maybe 20 pots, or if we get some proportion, then we may generate electricity. But how much it is cost effective, again we need to work it on. How can we, you know, because when we work on just one pot, it costs around 2,000 rupees. So it's not cost effective at all. So we need to work it on. We need to search that how it can be more cheap. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Josh. Okay, let me go to Michael Boyd next, sir.
Hello. So I'm curious about a couple things. One is, how far back in time? At one point I saw you were mentioning 7,000 years.
Yeah. 7135.
Does it go back 10,000 years, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's 10,000 means you are increasing 3,000 years more. So it's around 7135 as far as the planetary software is concerned.
Okay, and then the other thing I'm curious about is the context of, is this always in the context of, I guess, how would I describe it? Social stratification. You know, it's like there's, when you start talking about people that are special or gods or something like that, human beings that have special abilities. It's kind
Abilities,
of
yeah.
that has to do with social stratification. And so I'm curious if this is always associated with like war or cultural violence of some sort.
I think I did not get the question in the right way. Tim, can you just, because I didn't get what exactly Sir wants to ask. Sir, can you just,
well, yeah, I think he was asking if these stories are associated with war or violence. Michael, is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
So I said
okay.
non-violence.
Yeah, it's related to war, it's obviously, but not exactly. See, I mean, when we talk about Vimanas, they are not always used for war purpose. They are used for, moving from one place to another, because it's mentioned like that which can travel from one place to another place. So it is just a travel purpose. But whenever it's required, they have used as we get the reference. In
Okay.
Ravana and Rama war also, one celestial car was provided to Rama, because Rama is not a kind of a god who is having lots of supernatural powers. He is just normal human beings. But Ravana was having those powers because of tapas, and he acquired that. And now if you ask that, is it possible to acquire all these things? Then what answer I have is, it is possible. But with this body, that is sthula sharira, it is not possible. For that, we have to acquire that sukshma level. But how we can go it? I mean, if you ask me that, did you have that experience? I'll say not at all. I don't have any experience. But what the people say, I mean, people, this spiritual guru says that it is possible to travel in all these 10 directions with mind only. There is no other possible way. Through mind only we can travel, because mind is unidimensional, and only one thing can travel in all these dimensions, which is unidimensional. So all these, yeah. So I mean, this must be known to all of you. So yeah.
So I have a technology. My last question has to do with the technology part of it. When you're reviewing these ancient writings and stuff, sound, music, song, in like in indigenous cultures in the Americas, they talk about sharing their songs. And so I'm curious to know about sound, and from a technical point of is there when they're talking about these Vimana, do they ever mention sound as anything to do with it?
Sound, okay. Frankly speaking, Vimana Shastra, whatever the text is, they are dealing with the dhvani. Dhvani means sound. And not only this dhvani, but even in Vyakaran Shastra, they are having a lot of discussion on this concept of dhvani. What do you mean by dhvani? What do you mean by spota? Spota means when word comes out from our mouth. So in Ramayana, there are many references in Yuddha Kanda where this sound is dealt with. As far as Vimana Shastra is concerned, there are many texts actually, not only one Bruhat Vimana Shastra. So we need to actually, study that. I mean, frankly speaking, there are so many texts, but I have not read that, okay, word to word, entirely. So because if I read that, what I will come to know? I'll come to know only the literal meaning, word to word meaning. I will even translate khara as a donkey, but it's not. So one person in that field is required who can, understand the modern technology, and then, we'll get something which is really needed in today's era. So sound, which you are talking about, it will be definitely there, but I cannot claim at the moment that yes, I know.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers. They're appreciated.
And Michael, thank you as well, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, let me go to Alex Froloff next. And Alex, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming today.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Where is the lecture? Lecture. Shreehari.
Shreehari.
Shreehari. Hello, Shreehari. So you told a lot about Vimana, about publication in different books, but I didn't listen about technical aspects. What do you remember about some technology of propulsion? How it works? For example, I remember the Vimana in Russian literature also was discussed many times, and I remember that Vimana work by means of mercury, the liquid metal mercury. And also Vimana needs some heat source. So we can get a conclusion about the principle, the technology is to make mercury to be hot and then to get high pressure. But Vimana is not reactive, is not rocket. Vimana don't spend mercury. It works by some way enclosed body. So do you remember some information about this technical idea? How to use mercury in Vimana, but it is not a rocket. It is not a jet propulsion system. Thank you very much, listener.
Yeah.
Do you remember some information about this?
Yeah, in the last session, actually, Karthi was talking about this mercury purification, and even Kavya, who is an aeronautical engineer, she speaks on propulsion and all. But frankly speaking, technical aspects are there. I have mentioned one paragraph in that entire technical things are mentioned. But if you will ask me, okay, being a Sanskrit person, at what is the technology of Vimana technology, then I will not be able to answer that. So as Justine said, that my role is to just connect the gap between the ancient knowledge system with today's knowledge system. So there are many people in our team, those who are work on this technical aspect. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and Alex, thank you as well. And again, thank you for joining us today. Okay, so let me go to Sam Thompson next, and then Sam, after you, sir, I have a couple from the chat. So go ahead.
Hi, Sam.
Thank you for your presentation. There was an image on your PowerPoint earlier of a book, and the cover of the book looked like it was of there's looked like a helicopter, submarines, different ships. But someone posted in the chat that those were Egyptian hieroglyphics, and I think that's true. And I'm wondering why that might be the case.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
There was can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier in your PowerPoint presentation, you had a picture of a book, and the cover of the book seemed to be Egyptian hieroglyphics. And I was wondering if there's a relationship between Egyptian hieroglyphics and the subject of your presentation. It looked like a helicopter and a submarine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So he was asking, Sam had asked about Egyptian hieroglyphics. It sounds like you're having trouble with your earphones. He was wondering if there was a connection between Egyptian hieroglyphics, right? The Egyptian symbols from the pyramids and then the Vimana.
Oh, acha. Sorry, I don't have any idea about this.
Oh, okay. Well, Sam, thank you, sir. Okay, so let me go to, we have a couple in chat. Mikhail had asked, and Mikhail, let me apologize for taking so long to get to it. He'd asked me if I could ask you if any CFD testing has been done or further research was done on mercury at the lab.
Yeah, with the lab, yes, the tests are going on. Last time only, this Karthik has mentioned, there are many n number of procedures are there, and he has reached up to 12th level. So in Guntur, this research is going on, and there's a research organization Shrivit, and we have Shastriji, who is the he's the head, who is focusing on all these real inventions and devices. So one day, if we get an opportunity, then definitely, if he comes, then he will definitely talk on the real technical aspect of Vimana. which he has derived, I mean, which he has invented.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah. So then next, Gene Harvey had asked, he's wondering if it's generally assumed that the Vimana carried atomic weapons. And if so, would that explain the high levels of radiation found in certain areas?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, again, he was asking about, did the Vimana carry nuclear weapons? Or
as far as my knowledge is concerned, Vimanas, I mean, when we see Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are not carrying, Vimanas are not carrying these nuclear weapons and all. So they are used in a different way, like these mantras, and you better know these arrows were used. So I have not come across with this kind of thing. So it needs a lot of study. That, I mean, this Vimana Shastra, this text is there where Rupa Vimana is mentioned. So all these are, I think, it's a technical subject. So I'm not the right person to say that Vimanas are carrying the nuclear weapons or not.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah. Okay, let me go to Will next. Will, go for it, sir.
So it's been said that in some books that the territory of India reached as far as Afghanistan. As you're a historical person, is that true? And just how vast was the empire of India at that time?
Okay, yeah, definitely I can explain this. There is a line in one Agama text, Brahaspati Agama, that Himalayat Samarabhya Yavat Hindu Sarovaram Deva Nirmitam Tam Desham Hindustanam Prachakshate. So that is the line. So Himalayat Samarabhya, so right from Himalaya, okay, so to the southern part of Himalaya till the Pacific Ocean, the entire land which is there, that is called as Hindustanam. Okay, so, and which was again divided into two because of these Vindhya mountains. So one is Aryavarta and another is Dakshinapatha. So till Upaganasthana, okay, what I mean, we get the references till Upaganasthana towards the northern side, and till this Pacific Ocean. Upaganasthana is today is called as Afghanistan. Okay, so in those days were called as Upagana because 16 Ganasthanas were there, and these were very close to, so they used to travel and trade a lot. So that particular land is basically specifically is called as Hindustan, right from Himalaya to ocean, and this side Upaganasthana to Lanka. Yeah. Tim, you need to unmute.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, so thank you very much. And let me see if anybody else has questions. It looks like they've slowed down a little bit in chat. Again, please raise your hand in Zoom using Option Y on Mac or Alt Y on Windows.
One more point I would like to mention. It's really interesting for all of you, even for our people, that when we talk Amazon, okay, just by one arrow it is shown A to Z, everything is available. Similarly, this kind of grammar where we get the first word and we get the last letter, and then we form a short form of that particular entire region. So the same we find over here. So when we take the first letter of Himalaya is He, okay, and the Pacific Ocean in those is called as Indu Sarovara. So Indu, so last letter is Ndu. So right from He to Ndu, that sthana is called as Hindu sthana. Okay, so Hindu is basically is a region. Okay, afterwards it converted to religion, that is a different aspect. But this references text says that this is a region from Himalaya to Hindu Ocean. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, well, let me go to Mikhail next, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Mr. Shreehari, I had one question for you. In terms of the Vimanas, have you heard about the case of the mystery airships of the Sonora Club back in the 1897? This was obviously much ahead of the Vimanas, which were back in 10,000 years. But there's a lot of similarities between the Sonora Aero Club because they kind of look like the Vimanas, and they used something called as the NV gas. Now, this input, I've just got it from Michael Schratt. And I was, are you aware of this? Or?
No, I don't have at the moment.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. And also my second question, sir, for you is in terms of the manuscripts that were written in the book in the ancient Indian text, was it only few technical pages, or there were more detailed diagrams of the craft itself in terms of its mechanism, the materials that were used, and other aspects?
Okay, so Mikhail, first I would like to request you don't call me sir. I'm just Shreehari. Okay, and as far as these manuscripts are concerned, there are pages and pages. And let me tell you, just now it is declared that, I mean, I have attended one 20 days workshop in the manuscript. There, all these people who are working, they are saying that around 2% manuscripts are only, published in the field of science. Scientific manuscripts are concerned, only 2%. And remaining all are in the manuscript form, and they are in different script. They are not in, just now I have presented the Sanskrit text in Devanagari. Okay. But in southern part, mostly all the Sanskrit text is in Grantha script. And there are very few people who are available today who can read Grantha and who can transcribe Grantha to Devanagari and publish. So a lot of work is pending in this scientific literature. And there, what I have gone through, at few areas, some diagrams are there. Okay, some diagrams are mentioned, some charts are there. Okay, but written in Grantha script. So for me also, frankly speaking, I have not learned Grantha. I'm learning it now. So it's very difficult to understand. So in those days, Sanskrit was written in various scripts, not only Grantha, but Sharada script, different scripts. So in the northern part, Sharada is, very similar to Devanagari. So people have worked on that a lot. But here, lot of work is pending. So yes, manuscripts are there. Ample of manuscripts are available even today in this regard, and we can, do research in that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Let me go to Gene Harvey next. Oh, Gene, are you still with us? Here, let me ask you to unmute, sir. Okay, so it looks like he might be having issues. Let me go back to Michael Boyd next.
So I just wanted to say thank you for your work, because I think that I study archaeology, and I live in California, and in California, historic archaeology starts in 1769, when the first mission was found in Alta, California. So our written history doesn't go very far back. You're really blessed to have such a long written history to study. And I think it's really important to humanity to get access to that information. because, you know, if we don't know our past, we're condemned to repeat it. And so I really just wanted to say thank you for your work. It's sincerely appreciated and it's important. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it's a responsibility. I think it's of everybody. I mean, we together can do miracles because the literature is available, and in this only the dedication is required, and people from various backgrounds, they are required to come together.
So let me go. Let me see. Gene just posted his question in chat. Actually, he posted it a moment ago too. He'd asked, "Are there similar technologies to this in any other ancient cultures besides India?" And I think Karelia had asked that as well. She was wondering about if so, was it because of special minerals that existed in India that allowed these to be built?
As far as our time, I mean, which I have referred to, that is 7,000 years before, there are some references like Siddhapura and Romakanagaram. So in Bruhat Samhita, written by Varahamihir, so some names are mentioned, okay, but with today's context, today we call it in a different name. So I mean, luckily Rome country is called the same with same name, Romaka only, but Siddhapura is different. So Australia was called in those days in a different with different name. So yes, definitely we can find some references, but the main thing is we need to know the today's names to that particular country, so that we can focus it upon.
Awesome. Thank you. So let me go back to Will next. And again, but before I go to Will, I just want to make sure you're doing okay because we have a really long Q&A session here.
Actually,
so do you need some water or do you want to wrap things up now? It's up to you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. It's almost 2:40 in India.
Oh, it is. I had forgotten about the time difference. Okay, well, let's do that then. Let us wrap that part of it up. Again, we're way ahead of schedule. We're actually almost an hour ahead of schedule, but that is totally fine. I loved your presentation. It was wonderful. What I want to do is let's do this. Let's put this back on gallery view. I'm going to lower Will's hand. Will, let me apologize for that. Everyone, please give Dr. Shreehari Gokarnakar giant applause for a wonderful presentation. Sir, thank you for staying up so late. It's almost 3 a.m. your time. So my apologies for that.
Nice. Thank you. It's my really, I would like to say thanks so that I could speak with such great people. All scholars are here and really good questions they're asking. Thank you so much. So definitely I will join as a spectator, as a listener in the next sessions.